Hello guys and welcome back by a new live stream here. A very important one, I really think here, because it's market open in about 5 minutes, and I really think volatility will kick in here. And yeah, let's gonna watch it live. Of course, we're gonna discuss some more charts here, but first of all, in 5 minutes the US opening, and I'm really curious about what's gonna happen and what will happen when the volatility kicks in here. So I'm pretty curious to see. First of all, right now is we had a bounce from off this blue level, and that blue level was a very important one, and I'm gonna discuss why it was a very important one. So support and resistance is a very basic thing in the market, but it's pretty important to know why certain levels are very important in the market here, and that's yeah, exactly right here. So what we saw a pump and then a very big dump afterwards. And why is this a very important level then? That means that this level causes the move towards the downside here. So this is a pretty strong level, because from off this level, price dumped approximately 20% towards the downside. And that is a very high conviction level if you break it towards the upside, that you will bounce from off it in the future, because it's a very strong level here. And we know it is a strong level because from this level the move towards the downside started, and it was a pretty heavy move towards the downside here. So that's why certain levels are important. First of all, I wasn't looking for this level for myself. I talked about it yesterday in a video that I am looking for the support level here below, but I wouldn't be surprised maybe today with market open we will dump towards the downside. But let's see what will happen here. I really want to open up two charts here, and one is the Bitcoin volatility index, because I'm pretty curious to see what we will do on that one. First of all, here to the right, it looks very weird. I know this chart is pretty weird to see, but this means the volatility, and I probably think that we will have a very big volatility spike when market opens. So I'm gonna watch it in the 5-minute chart, and let's see what will happen here. Because for now, I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller here because it's not that important. That we saw a move towards the downside once again, and this is probably because the open is closed here in 2 minutes, that we have that sell-off towards the downside. First of all, if you look at the liquidity, that's also something that's pretty important to know about with market openings, US openings. It lays above here, so it's a sell-side liquidity. So that is something I really want to keep my eye on, because I think maybe that one could be taken away, and that lays above this high approximately. So let's see. For now, we still have that move towards the downside here, but let's see what will happen with market open here. So in a minute, for other people who don't know, why is market open today so special? Because market open is every day, expect the weekends here, but we have a very big move towards the downside on Bitcoin, but also very big news coming out in the weekends here. And that means that people who are in ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs, or in stocks couldn't anticipate on that news. So they know the news right now. So what will they do today? They will anticipate on the news they know right now. And that gives them the ability to even buy or sell right now on the news that came out in the weekend here. So that's why it's pretty important. And of course, it was a very big news event in the weekend and some heated up things. So I'm pretty curious to see what we will do right here, if we can bounce from off this level, or we will see a fake out towards the downside or towards the upside, or put that move in exactly towards the downside. Most of the time, the first seconds doesn't happen that much, but in the first 1 to 2 minutes, things will get heated. So for now, yeah, not really. The volatility is even going down, which is pretty rare to see, because you expect the volatility to peak here, so to go up very much, because volatility means people are trading the market, and if it goes down with market open, it's very weird to go down here. But for now, we maybe see a small bounce for Bitcoin, but don't cheer too hard right now, because most of the time it just consolidates, and then maybe further in the US market it moves down or up. For now, I really think that everyone is watching this US Open here, so they're really curious to see. But we're dumping here, as expected. And why are we dumping? That's because of the US market open. So on Bitcoin, if you are in ETFs on Bitcoin, you can trade it 24/7. So the ETF is on the US markets. That means that in weekends you can buy or sell the ETF, and which causes for, if they have the ability to sell their Bitcoin because of the things heating up in Israel now with Iran, and if they wanted to sell, they need to sell it right now and not in the weekends here, or even buy. Sometimes you can also get a pump towards the upside, of course, if people wanted to buy after a big dip. Markets opens are really excited to see. But for now, I'm gonna let this chart for what it is. Maybe expected a bigger move than we have right now, but sometimes the most likely thing to see is that you consolidate, and then maybe in about 1 to 2 hours the price will choose its direction. And also for big institutions, it's pretty important because they can trade it right now too. So if they want to buy the dip or sell the news, then that's something you really want to keep an eye on. But what can we expect if we dump towards the downside or even the upside here, and which trades we can take here? That's the most important part, because the candles just print. We can't change the candles, but we can anticipate on it, and how we can anticipate on it, and what is the next chance here. What a good thing is to see, and I'm gonna zoom in a bit, is that if we look at the daily time frame, we had this low here, and this is a very important low, because if we look at market structure, this is the market structure we have right now. And of course it's going towards the downside, but if we lose this level here, this low here, that means that we officially shift the trend towards the downside, because then we are flipping the trend and we're flipping bearish. So it's pretty important for price to hold on towards this level. And what does that mean? That we don't have a candle open and close below this level. And yesterday we saw a candle with a very big wick towards the downside, opening above this line and closing below it. So we haven't lost the level yet. But for today, we opened below this level. So that means that if we do not close today above the 101.6K, that means that we lost this low and that we expect some more downside in the future here. So that's something that's for now really bullish, and which is really bullish to see if price gets above it and be strong enough to close the candle above this line, and tomorrow pump further towards the upside. That's pretty strong to see. So that's the first thing in the market here. For now, we do not need to worry about this, but for later today, it's a pretty important thing to look out for. If we see a loss of this level, which is pretty likely in my opinion, because the momentum is very hard towards the downside right now. Then we have these two zones, which I've been talking about in my daily update videos, where I want to be looking to add some spot to my portfolio and also open up a swing trade with low leverage, of course, because it is something you need to understand right now is the volatility is pretty high. We don't know what's gonna happen with Iran and Israel, and we're not gonna gamble on the war right now. So if you open up positions, please make sure to have a very good stop loss and to use nice risk management, to don't over leverage yourself. So I really wouldn't recommend to use a leverage above 4 or 5 here maybe. I'm usually opening up swing trades with 2 or 3 leverage. Yeah, especially in these situations where you don't know what happened, because if we look at the price, and let's go to Ethereum, because on Ethereum we saw it more clear here, because Ethereum really took a hit. From Bitcoin didn't take that big of a hit, but Ethereum, what we saw is that we had a consolidation phase and then a pretty move down. We have a consolidation phase and then one candle very big down. And then a consolidation phase and a candle very big down. And now too, we have a consolidation phase. Maybe a candle down is next. But these candles, these dumps are 7% or 7% or 6%. That's pretty big. And if you open up trades with 10x leverage here, it's too dangerous. And that's why I'm saying right now, don't use leverage over than 5. And I would recommend to you not go over the 2 or 3 leverage here, because it's too dangerous for now. So if we look at the price, let me grab the chart here for a second, where I want to be buying and opening up big positions, that is in these boxes, these zones I've drawn here. So first of all, the first buy would be around the 97k here. Then of course my spot limit orders are at 97k and 85k. Opening up a swing position, I want to see more things happen in the market. So I'm not gonna limit into swing trades here. Why? Because there's a really big chance that if there is news about the things in Iran and Israel, we will have a very big move towards the downside, and that means that you will get filled, but maybe we dump way more towards the downside, and that's not where you want to be in a position. So if we tap this zone, I'm looking for some bullish signals around this zone to open up your trades. Because for now, it's pretty important to have high conviction setups here and have very big signals in the market where you know that price will move up from off these boxes. And if I don't see a signal right over here, I want to see it right over here. And if I don't see it right over here, I want to see it right over here in this zone here. So I'm really looking for a dump towards these boxes and a nice reaction of it. And then I'm gonna open some very big trades, because also, which is pretty important to know here, the last time there were war things in the market, it was between Ukraine and Russia. And of course, we dumped towards the downside when things came out about the war. But after that, Bitcoin pumped a significant amount towards the upside. And that's something that could really happen once again here. And of course, there is panic in the market right now, and we have it up towards the downside. But over a few weeks, people are thinking of what could happen, and then they will buy Bitcoin once again, of course. And I really think the situation that's happening right now is way bigger than in Russia and Ukraine. So that's something you really want to keep in mind. And that's also in these situations, what you really want to do here is you're trading with macroeconomics here. And that's something you really want to keep an eye on. So just follow the news pretty clear here. Also, X is a very good platform to look for news, because you don't want to miss anything. Because if you miss something, it could be a very priceful loss there. And we see Bitcoin pumping after the market open, of course. We saw that dump towards the downside. But for now, we see Bitcoin pumping towards the upside, which is pretty good to see. That means that there is buying pressure. So maybe all the people that couldn't trade Bitcoin ETF or Bitcoin in the weekends are buying it right now. So that will be a very good sign. So something I really want to keep my eye on is US oil as well. Of course, we saw a massive flow of oil here. But for now, we see oil tensions got heated up. Of course, with Iran here. I really want to keep my eye on oil as well, and I know I'm a crypto trader, but also on oil now there are some very big chances. But for now we're just rejecting the top side here, so if we drop further towards the downside, I may be scaling into some oil here, because that's yeah, pretty high conviction setup if we see so here. Also, I want to talk about this Ethereum chart because I'm really excited about how things happen right here. Because maybe I have a other chart with this one. Yes, this one. Look, what we can see on Ethereum, and that was also something I was talking about in my daily update videos, is we had a very nice accumulation zone right here, and accumulation is a good thing for the market, but which is pretty important to understand here is this accumulation phase was that long here that everyone was buying the lower side here and selling the top side here, and it was too easy to trade because you buy the lower side of the range and you sell the top side, and you will make every single time around 14-15% here, which is the case if you are in a very long range, that all the people are buying the lower side, which means that there is a lot of liquidity below this line and also on the top side. So what did we saw? We saw a move towards the downside. All the people who were short on the top side were liquidated. Then we took out the lower side there. So all the people who bought in the lower range here is also out of their trades. And that is what we call capitulation right here. So there are three phases in the market which repeats itself over and over again. And that is, first of all, the accumulation phase, the capitulation phase, and the expansion phase here. So accumulation is getting people into the market and people buying, stacking up liquidity on the lower side and on the top side here. Then we have the capitulation. So we trick the people out of the market. All the people that are long on the lower side have been taken out of the market here. And people are panic selling below this range because this is their very big support line. And if they're getting broken, they're stressing and selling their position. So it's a win-win scenario to push the price below the range here. And that's what we call capitulation. So what if we stack up things? Liquidity is taken out on the lower side. People have been stressed. So not many people are in the trades anymore. And what did we saw? After always a very big expansion towards the upside, because the market doesn't want anything in to be in profit. So we need to take them out first, and that's exactly what we have been seeing here. So I really think that if we gain some strength towards the upside and retest the lower side of this range, of course, we need to be strong enough to push above this resistance for now, old support, gain back towards the lower side, and then move towards the upside for the expansion phase. That is what we want to be seeing here. And that's exactly unfolding right now. So if we gain strength to go above this level, I'm opening a very big position on Ethereum here. Also, if we stack up a other chart here from Ethereum, we can see that we have a very beautiful bounce of the golden pocket ratio. So what does this mean? We had a move towards the upside here, and we have a low, we have a high, and a Fibonacci retracement level is something you can pull from your low towards your high to know where the pullback will be, and which are very important zones to look for that pullback to open up some trades. And a very important level is the 618 here. That is what called the golden pocket ratio, and that's it. That is the zone where you really want to hold on, and which is the high conviction zone here, and that was around the 0.618, and that is exactly what we saw. We saw that dump towards the downside, towards the 618 level, and for now we're bouncing from it pretty nice here. So we saw a massive squeeze towards the downside, and from off this level we didn't lost anything here. We saw strength towards the upside. And also here is Ethereum is pumping pretty hard. So that's really good to see. Bitcoin also got a pump towards the upside. And the USDT dominance is dropping towards the lower side here, so that's pretty good to see. So yeah, for now also I've drawn this resistance line on the USDT dominance here, and this is the top side. And we saw a pump towards the resistance line, and now we're getting stopped by this resistance line. So that means we expect movement towards the downside, which means that money will flow into the USDT dominance here, and which could cause for a surge in price into the overall crypto market.